It's been a while since I've done something on the channel, but kind of been inconsistent because of school and stuff. But I've been sick as well, as might be able to tell. As you can tell by the title or the thumbnail that I did put up, we're going to be looking at 3 defensive linemen that are going to be in the 2019 NFL draft. So I do have some film right in front of me of these 3 players. We're going to start with who I think is going to be picked earliest. It's actually pretty close. It's actually pretty close here. I think he should be number 1 pick, but we don't know what's happening with Kyler Murray or anything like that. So it's Nick Bosa. Okay, he was projected to be the number 1 pick pretty much this whole year. He's been that spectacular. He was out. He was down with an injury, a season-ending injury. He still decides to enter the NFL draft. And I don't blame him because you can't go any further than the number 1 pick. So this is the best time for him to enter the draft. He is a 4-3 defensive end, so you could put him on a line of 4, 2 defensive tackles in the middle, and a defensive end on the other side. I think this is definitely he is an absolute technician when it comes to, especially like on the bend. His bending, he's an absolute technician when he's bending, when he's just powering his way through. He can come at you at many different ways, and that's what I like about Nick Bosa. He does it with power, he does it with speed, and he does it with technique. It is so fun to watch when you've got a guy that is so good at all 3 of those aspects, and that's what you need in an edge rusher. There's really no weaknesses when it comes to those 3. I haven't seen much of his highlights when he's against a run, but I'm guessing he's pretty good at that as well. But I will get to that is somebody's weaknesses later on in this video. Later on in this video, I will get to that later on. But he's got really good speed off the edge for a 262 pounder. He looks like he shouldn't run as fast as he does, if you know what I mean. So he is definitely somebody that is very fast off the edge, and he starts it with I put it down on my notes here, elite technique. That is what he has, and that's what allows him to have good speed off to just absolutely just get off the edge so fast because he's got so much space because of his technique. So when he breaks off of that edge, it's pretty much game over for the quarterback. So when he's on that tackle, he's either going to go around him or he's going to go through him. That's what it is basically for Nick Bosa. So that's why I think he is one of the better defensive ends that we've seen in a long time. Like, that's how good I think he is, because he he has a choice of whether he can go through him or around him, and there's no way you're stopping him. So um, that's why I love Nick Bosa's potential in the NFL. Um, Now he's probably going to have problems, but uh, with the power aspect in the NFL, but he'll get over it. He'll definitely get over it. But with his technique, he will definitely. That is NFL level technique. So I'm not worried about his technique. That's why I have it as elite technique. He has NFL. He has pro level technique. That's why I think Nick Bosa should be going number one in the NFL draft. Um, so when I look at his highlights here, he's basically, yeah, elite technique. He can get around the edge so fast. It's so easily. Yeah, he just pushes down a guard that he had to switch that had to switch onto him. There's a sack right before it's a safety. It's not giving me. There it is. Okay. There's a technique right there. The burst of speed leading to an easy sack. It looks like he is pretty good in the run game. He's pretty good at tracking down the ball carrier, as I can see right here. Okay. So yeah, I guess we did see a run defense here. Let's see it again. There's a technique, in and out move, speed burst to a sack. Nice in and out move. Yeah, he's a very twitchy player. I could see that, but and here we go. Here's just a straight up power move, just goes right through an offensive lineman. My goodness. And I don't know who he reminds me of. I try to think of a comparison, but he is just so good bending around the edge. There's like I cannot think of a weakness in his game. And I know I'm looking at highlights, so we're not looking like at the good of him. We're only looking at the good of him, but geez, man, this is like so yeah, that is Nick Bosa. He is really unstoppable, actually. Now, Quintin Williams, okay, I'm going to talk about him next. Quintin Williams. I love Quintin Williams. He's probably like my favorite player in this draft. Not the best. I'm not saying that he's the best. I think he's my favorite player in this draft. Um, well, I can't find any highlights right now. I guess we could. I know he was only a 1 year starter. He had 17 tackles for loss. Okay, so Quentin Williams, we're gonna look at him right now. It doesn't look like he is being compared to Aaron Donald, and I do get that comparison, but I feel like I'm not. And I know this is like the Bears channel and all, but there's actually gonna be another Bears comparison to Allen, who I will talk about in a second. But I think he is like an Akeem Hicks to me. He is explosive up the middle with the power, of course, and he is very, very good against the run. Um, so I don't want, I think it's unfair to compare him to Aaron Donald, but Akeem Hicks, I like that comparison a lot. And I know this is a Bears channel, but You can kind of see it if you look at his tape. So, come on. So yeah, this is the first time I'm talking about college prospects. So this is interesting for me. I feel like it even says right here 49ers are torn between Nick Bosa and Quintin Williams. And I'm telling Quentin Williams is my favorite player. I just love how he is. If you look at no, we cannot look at that. So we look at that. Bam. Okay, so we cannot get any video. Basically, he's a 4-3 defensive tackle, so he will be fitting in with another. He'd work with another defensive tackle. When he brings it up the middle, he uses mostly power, but sometimes he does have a lot of technique when it goes to going up the middle. When he goes up the middle, he does have some technique, especially when a guard is switched on to him. He can easily use technique to get a nice burst to the quarterback, which I do like about that. I do like that he has that he can use technique in his game. That is really important to the modern day defensive tackle, because now the defensive tackle is now getting out after the quarterback. In this modern day NFL, normally they would just be run stoppers. Now you want them to sack the quarterback as well. So this is definitely something that will need to be addressed in the NFL for defensive tackles, and that's having better technique so that they can get to the quarterback. Quintin Williams definitely has that, but he uses power a lot more. I could see that in his highlights, his film. He does use a lot of power because he's got that great size and strength. He is a 6'4", 925-pound behemoth. So he is gonna run you over. That's just how he's built. He's like, if I'm built this way, I'm just gonna go through everybody. That's just how he is. So he uses a lot of power, and I'm not against that at all, because he still does use the technique, like I said. So, but he's an absolute run stuffer. This guy, 17 tackles for loss last season. He was one of the best run stuffers in the NCAA last season, if not the best. I loved how he stopped the run. That's what's most important to me. I just love when defensive tackles can sack the quarterback and stop the run. Pretty much that's just in my book, that is what I want in defensive tackle. So that Quintin Williams, I can't speak. It's just awesome that how he can use so much power and so much technique at the same time. I mean, not so much technique, but he does have some technique thrown in there. He can get after the quarterback, but I'm just in love with how he stops the run. That's how I feel about that. So Quintin Williams is definitely, he could be, honestly, Quintin Williams is just so good. He might even be better than Nick Bosa. I'm not too sure about that, but Quintin Williams definitely has the potential to be one of the best, if not the best, defensive lineman in the NFL. So that's all I got to say about that. Now this is going to be a shorter video than I normally do. Josh Allen, a 3-4 outside linebacker. So you're going to put So you're going to have two middle linebackers with Josh Allen, and you're going to have only three, so two defensive ends, one defensive tackle in that system that Josh Allen is in. He's not going to be a pure defensive end. He's going to be an outside linebacker, so he's going to be in the 3-4 position, 3-4 scheme. And maybe we can get some Josh Allen. Get some Josh Allen highlights in here. I love Josh Allen. I love all three of these guys. Honestly, I think Quintin Williams, I love watching him the most. But I love all these guys. So Josh Allen. Doesn't look like there's anything here for Josh Allen either. So, Josh Allen, though, he's got a lot of speed. He is a speed outside linebacker. He is going to use his speed and technique. He's got very nice technique, by the way. And a lot of speed off the edge. He's got a lot of speed and technique off the edge. So once he gets off the edge, he's pretty much when he's got the quarterback in his eyes, he's pretty much there in like a second. So that's why Josh Allen is so dangerous behind the line, because you can't count on a guard switching on to him, because he's just going to quickly just get right past that guard. He's already going to be gone once you switch the guard onto him. So that's why he is so good, and that's why making adjustments is hard when you're against Josh Allen. He's 6'5", 260 pounds. He's on the lighter side, but he can still dominate. He's actually an inch taller than Nick Bosa and only 2 pounds lighter. So I guess it doesn't matter that much. So, and when you look at him, he doesn't look like a 260-pound man, but boy, he is. So so a lot of speed and technique. He can use his size and length, and that's basically what Josh Allen can do for you. He can use his speed and technique to get right to the quarterback, and that's why it's so hard to make adjustments to put the guard adjust the guard to Josh Allen, because Josh Allen is going to get right past him. So here's my one thing that I have against Josh Allen. He could play a little small in the run game. Against the run game, he could play a little bit small, because he is lanky. He could, I mean, he's just gonna get pushed. So, that's how it is. So that's why he plays a little small. But again, he uses his speed, he uses his technique, his size and length. Again, he's very good at getting to the quarterback with speed. I don't think his technique is as good as Nick Bosa, but it's still very good. But yeah, I would actually compare him to a Leonard Floyd, another Bears player I know. So, because Leonard Floyd, again, he's very he's got a lot of length. He's got a lot of speed. His technique is very good. Yet again, I think Josh Allen could be a better version of Leonard Floyd, of course, because I think Josh Allen's got more technique. I keep on repeating the word technique, but that's how it is. So, yeah, you can definitely see that comparison. In my mind, I can see it between him and Leonard Floyd. I think he's going to be a better version of Leonard Floyd. I hope he goes to the Raiders because the Raiders definitely do need. Um, they desperately need a pass rusher. So that's someone commenting on my live stream, even though it says that there's none. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna look at the mock draft real quick, just for 1 second. See what's going on. Look at one mock draft. Post free agency mock draft. I did look at this. It's by Charles Davis, so this is going to be interesting. It's a 1.0. So they have Kyler Murray going to Arizona. And if Arizona really wants to go with Kyler Murray, then that's fine with me. I mean, if they're getting the quarterback they want. Okay. Then at 2, Nick Bosa. So again, Nick Bosa, the junior. He's going to join D Ford and DeForest Buckner. That is something that is very scary. And 49ers are also getting Quan Alexander, so you also got to think about that. So their defense is actually looking nice, and they got Sherman. They're going to get, I believe, Verrett. So their secondary is looking kind of good. Their defensive, their front seven is looking very nice. So at 3, Quintin Williams. So there it is. He's going to pair with Leonard Williams. And then Josh Allen, number 4, goes to. He's going to go to the Raiders. And I think I said that I wanted him to go to the Raiders, and he will go to the Raiders. They need an edge rusher. The Raiders do need an edge rusher desperately. And to get him at 4, I think it would be a steal for me. If Kyler Murray wasn't there, these guys would be the top 3 picks. It's just how it is. So, and then at 5, Montez Sweat. Okay, that's interesting. Now, I don't know if that's much. I think that might be a reach. Dwayne Haskins at 6 for the Giants. Now the Giants, Dwayne Haskins for the Giants, the Giants didn't actually do a meeting with him. So I don't know if that's actually going to be true. At pick 7, the Jaguars get Noah Fant. That might be a little bit much of a reach, especially since TJ Hawkinson would still be on the board. Pick 8, Rashawn Gary. They need Greedy Williams. They already had they signed Trey Flowers. They need to go and get a corner, and Greedy Williams is that guy. Jawan Taylor. Personally, for me, yeah, I would go Jawan Taylor. Yeah. I was going to say Jonah Williams, but Jawan Taylor is probably the guy here. Jonah Williams, where is he on here? Is Jonah Williams even on here? Devin White at 10. Not too sure about that. I think wait. To the Broncos? Do they need, I guess they do need a middle linebacker. And they did strengthen their secondary with Bryce Callahan. Devin Bush comes right after Devin White. That might be a little bit of a reach for the Bengals. At 12, Christian Wilkins, I could see that for the Packers. Yeah. But Kenny Clark and Mike Daniels, though, all three of those guys, I don't know about that, man. Drew Lock. The Dolphins draft Drew Lock. I don't know if I agree with that. Add Oliver to the Falcons. I am seeing that a lot. Would be a difference. Jonah Williams at 15 to the Redskins. That would definitely be interesting. Clelin Farrell at number 16. Yeah, they don't really have any pass rushers. Okay, TJ Hawkinson to the Vikings. Okay. Yeah, I think it's it, guys. All right. DK Metcalf to close to 26. He's going to go a lot earlier. All right, we'll see you guys later.